www.healthcmi.com. Acupuncture, continuing education online today. Acupuncture and herbs lower cholesterol finding. Acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine are effective for the treatment of hyperlipidemia. Wuhan First Hospital researchers find acupuncture combined with drug therapy relieves hyperlipidemia and demonstrates superior patient outcomes over drug monotherapy. In other words, when you add the acupuncture into the protocol, it does increase the efficacy of the drug therapy. Now, in another study, this is very interesting, an herbal formula used to tonify or strengthen the body outperforms simvastatin for the regulation of blood cholesterol lowering. So it lowered the hyperlipidemia levels more significantly than the statin drug. So that's very interesting when you did herbal medicine. We do get some results with herbal medicine like that, especially in certain types of patients that are weak and deficient over time. Technically, within Chinese medicine, that herbal formula is a tonify the spleen and transform dampness formula. So if you go to healthcmi.com, click on news and look for the article entitled Acupuncture and Herbs Lower Cholesterol Finding, you can see both articles. So certainly it's the case if you're already getting statin drugs, and this article goes into details. If you add the acupuncture points, in this case, stomach 36, PC6, stomach 40, CV12, stomach 25, that's Zhusan Li, Neiguan, Feng Lung, Zhengwan Tian Shu, you're going to get better results. Now, we've seen this time and time again. Why? Because acupuncture does stimulate specific types of metabolism and can help patients with these problems. So it is recommended that if you are getting statin drug treatment, that you would want to consider acupuncture to see if you can get greater efficacy from your treatment protocol. What is also common, and what's not mentioned here, is that there are adverse effects associated with certain statin drugs, including leg pain, for example. So that's something an acupuncturist can help alleviate to some degree. Again, the drugs will be, if it's causing it, may continue to cause it for a given patient, but at least we can take the edge off of that and make it a little more bearable. Also, by increasing the effects of the statin drugs, you may be able to lower the dosage of the statin drugs you're taking, because the cholesterol levels and triglyceride levels may fall into line more easily at lower dosages, so that's another advantage. So the research goes into a lot of detail on the type of acupuncture used and how it was achieved. Now, the next study showed an herbal medicine getting greater results than a statin drug. And that's a very interesting formula, Dan Shen, Shen Chu, Shanja, of course, because that hawthorn berry has been kind of well known within research to do a good job. Chen Pi Huang Jing, so the tonify qi, herb Ban Xia Zixie, Jiao Gulan, and Chao Jui Ming. So that's interesting, Jiao Gulan in there, because that's had some notoriety in the adaptogen properties of that herb, especially with respiratory conditions, breathing, things like that. And we see it here emerging in this formula. Very interesting formula, starting with Dan Shen, which is interesting for moving and cooling the blood and benefiting the heart. And then a lot of those digestives like Shen Chu, Shanja, Chen Pi. So you can see what's going on there in this formula. And again, this formula is very safe. There's no harm in taking it. There really wouldn't be any disadvantage to taking this formula if someone was already taking drugs or if they weren't. So if you can get the job done without having to take a statin drug, you're better off, of course. But consult with your doctor on that. And there really is no harm in adding to this. They measured a whole bunch of parameters, total cholesterol, things like that, triglycerides. They specifically sorted for LDL and things like that. So that's also pretty good research. Again, all at healthcmi.com in the news department. So I hope you enjoyed that, learned a little bit about that. Most people don't know that acupuncture and herbs can potentiate drug therapy, but can also sometimes lower the drugs needed or even replace them. Thank you for listening. I'm Adam White, licensed acupuncturist. Until next time, www.healthcmi.com.